friends, and welcome to another Stitch with me. Today I'm going to be working on Riverwalk Charm. This is a chart by Ruane and it's a regular size. Lots to tell you about this chart because this is an interesting chart, and I started it back in 2019, I think it was, or probably early 2020. And it's one of the biggest that I had started. It's about 280,000 stitches, more or less, somewhere around there. Yeah, so I've done quite a lot. So I picked up, since my last video, I've only picked up this one, and I did a little bit on my sad fairy as well, but not too much because, yeah, busy and stuff. So I'm going to get into what I've been doing with my strands and my parking and my crosses and my 10 stitches, because that's all something that I regularly talk about, and all the changes and switchovers that I do of all the different techniques and methods that I've got going here. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to, as you can see, I've got a bit of a diagonal going here, so I'm going to carry on with a bit of diagonal, and I've parked my threads here to help me when I get going down that way. Oh yeah, before I continue, I just want to say a couple of people asked me about previous videos, and they're not gone, so don't worry. I've just been doing a bit of a refresh and a revamp on my channel, and a bit of a spring clean, doing this and that, but they're not gone. I will be doing more videos as well anyway. When you get to your mid-50s, you start doing all sorts of crazy stuff, but anyway. This technical stuff gets a bit crazy. So I'm going to carry on with this diagonal down here. And yeah, I've switched back to diagonals. Isn't that a crazy thing? I never would have thought that I'd gone from doing the blocks that I was doing back to the diagonals. Yeah, and back to the blocks again, back to the diagonals again. I've streamlined everything down to one strand because I was using two strands. And I thought, two strands was getting too bulky. And so I decided I've had enough of this. Now, again, I'm going to go and do one strand, which is fine. One strand's okay. But I only like doing one strand when I do full crosses. Hang on a second. Yeah, so I'm all right with full crosses, but I only like to do them in one strand on 25 count even weave. And I also do not like doing 10 stitch with one strand on 25 count. I don't like doing two strands full cross. So for me, the only options are one for the crosses are over 25 count and one strand on 25. So that means a little bit slower than I'd have liked, but maybe not such a bad thing. Depends which way you look at it. It depends on how fast you want to get things finished. But I don't mind going a little bit slower if it's relieving some of the bulk threads. So tell me what your favorite is. Is your favorite using one strand or two strands on 25 count? I'd be interested to know. Bit awkward position here. Sorry, guys. Back to some dark colours here. It is definitely, after doing 10 stitch for so long, it is definitely taking me longer to do crosses than it is to do the 10 stitch, obviously. But I don't mind doing the crosses if it's helping with the bulk. So, you know, at the end of the day, it's compromise. No matter what you do, it's compromising one thing for the other. So if you want to go faster, you can use two strands 10, but you're going to find it bulky. So if you want to go a little bit slower, you can do the crosses with one strand. That's basically what I've learned with this kind of method. Yeah, why have I not turned that one? See, marking off things. 2, 3. Okay, I've missed out 2 stitches there. That stitch is empty. That stitch, 1, 2, 3. I've done that one for some reason. I've done that one for some reason. Not marked it off. 1, 2, 3. Okay, just a second. Okay, I seem to have missed a stitch up there, so I'm going to grab this thread and go back up and do that. So how has everybody been getting on with their stitching? Has anybody taken advantage of the new sale that we've had on Heaven and Earth Designs? And talking about Heaven and Earth Designs, we've had, well, I've read some very sad news this week about Michelle and her daughter. So it has been very upsetting for so many people as well, because there are people that are going to be able to relate to this, and I'm not one of them, but there are going to be people who relate to, you know, a drug environment and family issues like that. So my heart goes out to Michelle. Michelle, we're thinking of you and we send all our love. So, yeah. It's absolutely tragic. But if anybody's bought a new chart, let me know what chart you've bought, because she's done a sale, I think, in honour of her daughter. So it's be interesting to see what people have chosen for their next stitch or to put into their stash. I have been good and I have not bought anything new. Do you know what? Even with the 4 crosses, with the 1 strand, it can still be really difficult to get these stitches through here. Sometimes I don't think it's any less bulky sometimes, especially if you're going cross country. And I have done a bit cross country, like you can see. And I still find that the needle sometimes won't go through and I have to really pinch it hard through. Come on. Okay, I think I've missed out. I always miss out stitches on the edge of the diagonal because I'm not paying attention. Why is it? Okay, no. Stitch here as well. I think it's because I've got a bit of a sharp point needle, which I think I need. I need a sharp point needle to get through the stitches, but it also makes things a bit scratchy. Okay, there we go. That's done now. So for me, all these beautiful yellow, browns and reds, I love, love, love those colours. Beautiful colours. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm not going to do 2 long diagonals. I think I'm going to crop them and maybe down to this line from the other side. And once I've done that, I'm going to go back to the other side of the chart, begin again on the left side of the chart and keep going down the bottom, because I don't want my diagonals to get too long, because then they get tedious, I think. Am I the only one who thinks that? I know I've seen some people doing really long diagonals, but for me, they get a little bit tedious when they're too long and you just don't want to finish them, right? Come on now. So I wish there was a count that wasn't just hardanger, because hardanger's sort of got its issues for me. I wish there was a count that I could do that's in between 20 and 25. I think I've heard of something called 24 count congress. I don't know why that word's come into my head. I could be mixing things up. If anybody knows what that is, please let me know. What is congress? Is it a cloth? I don't know. For some reason, I've got that word in my head. And has anybody used that? Is it any good? See, the thing is, I find the grid very useful on this even weave, which is why it's a go-to for a lot of people. So that's why I generally use it as well, because it's got the standard 25, which a lot of us are used to, and it's gridded already automatically. The grid is washable once you put it in the washing machine. So it's a really good choice. And so is the 32 and 28 and 20 even, and so on in the easy count. They're good choices. I can't really see behind this camera here. Where am I going? Let's go here. Get this one. So my plan is to do more stitch with me. I want you guys to help me get through these charts and to encourage me, because I feel like I need encouragement, because I feel like, I don't know, I'm sort of, sitting on the treadmill with it, and I need other people to come along and say, I want to see you doing this. I want to see you bringing back this chart and doing this. But don't throw all the charts at me now, because it'll just do my head in if you start saying, I want to see this one, and I want to see that one, and I want to see that one. I won't be able to keep up. But let's see. Did I say I had a plan with this? I think I was trying to say, well, okay, let's go with this again. I think what I wanted to do was to get a bit more on the Thea Governor, and I have been doing a little bit on that, but I've hit a point where it's got a little bit difficult. So here I give it a break and decided I want to come back to this one and to get, well, I don't really have a plan, but I could figure one out. See, if I start looking into the numbers and saying, oh, I have to do 800 stitches a week to get this one done, it gets really a pain, because then I have to actually sit down and do it every day, right? Okay. Let me get this one first. Sorry, lost thoughts, went off track there. But still want to hold myself accountable for actually keep moving with it. Because if I put something away, it can stay away for ages. So I've been watching some floss tubers, and they were saying stuff like, I had this goal to finish this one, or to get so many stitches done on this one this year, or in the last 3 months, or whatever it was, and I haven't achieved that goal. But it's no huge deal if you don't achieve the goal. You know, we're not going to get some meteorite come along or asteroid come and, you know, land on our homes because we haven't done the goal. But it is nice to, if you make a goal, it's nice to be able to do it, to actually finish it. But I don't think that I kind of like the pressure, but I want to be a little bit more organized with it. So I don't know, I've had so many suggestions by now. I just give up. Give up, just keep stitching. It's not the making of the plans, it's the actually carrying them out that's the problem. Does anybody else find that? That they don't like being without a plan, but they don't like actually doing the plan. Is that an actual thing, or am I just making that up? Okay, how are we doing? I'm sort of looking forward to coming out of this bit and going into somewhere, anywhere that's got less confetti. Let's have a look. Somewhere that's got less confetti. Sounds good to me. Because if I forget to do that 10th stitch on the edge there, it gets a bit faffy. Is that right? It don't look right to me for some reason, where I've done that stitch. Oh God, I think I've done the wrong stitch. No, I think I'm okay. Hang on. It's the edge stitches. The edge stitches are confusing me. The ones at the very end. I forget to do them. So effectively, I just do 9 stitches and then I just go and park. And that's messing my head up. Possibly because I am used to doing the opposite side of the chart and working from top right to bottom left. And if I work top right to bottom left, I've still got a 10th stitch, but maybe, I don't know, maybe it's just the reflective, the opposite thing that's doing my head in. I don't know. Right, there we are. I have to say, I'm still getting used to managing these little crosses. This is when I'm really appreciating the grid, because when there's no grid, it's harder to see which is your 10 by 10 square here. Your 10 by 10 diagonal. When there's no grid, it's like, is that the 10th row or the first row? Yeah, it's tricky, all right. It is tricky. Okay. Let me go down to the next row. So I have put quite a few of my charts away because I don't want to be overwhelmed. And so what I've got out at the moment is about 3 or 4, and that's what I'm focusing on, because I just don't have the headspace for doing like 20 of them. So that's been working for me for the last month. Am I in the right slot? I think so. It is a lot easier to do the snaking, as in it's a lot more laid back and you don't have to count too much. You only have to count within the square that you're doing, more or less. And the cross-country thing, I was enjoying it, but there was a lot of counting. And when you've got all of these stitches scattered everywhere, it gets harder and harder to find where you're supposed to go, where your starting point is. It's like, where am I? It's like a maze, And I know that people use these things as little landmarks, which is good, that does work. But there is definitely occasions where I've been looking at my confetti and going, oh my God, I can't find this stitch, because even the grid is hidden behind it. Like I said, pros and cons to everything. Maybe other people don't have that problem, but I'm only really talking about the things that are affecting my stitching. So it's nice that we're coming into the springtime, I have to say. I'm not complaining about having a little bit of sun coming along. And we've got a garden out the back that we can plant things if we wanted to. Like, I've thought about going and getting some things to plant, but I don't think it's quite time yet, is it, for doing gardening and stuff? I think I might have to wait for another month to pass before I get to do planting any flowers and things. So my option today is to finish this diagonal down to the bottom, or to move on back to another chart. Suggestions I've had are for spinning the wheel, but I've tried that before. I know spinning the wheel gives me a headache, because then it spins and I just stare at it like, oh, is that the one I really have to do? Isn't that just, typical? No. We'll get there, folks. We'll get there. Don't worry. We will. Well, I've managed to finish a couple of Hades. My first one was the Lisa Parker. Remember? Bewitched. Beautiful cat. And then I finished the Thomas Kincade, which I really loved. Right. Am I going down this way? Thomas Kincade. Gorgeous, gorgeous. I've got the new one to start, which I've so far held out. If you want to know what it is, go and look it up. It's called Westminster by Thomas Kincade, and it's an anchor kit. I can actually put a link to it. And I've been tempted. I've been more tempted in the last week to start it, but I haven't. And I thought to myself, if I start it, the likelihood is I'll get, a couple of days stitching in, and then it'll just go into a drawer. So I'm going to wait until the right moment, whatever that moment is. Whoopsie. There was a pop. So it's not going to be a super long one today, my friends. I have got some stuff to do with my husband, and oh, wait a minute, 1, 2. But I will come back and do another one shortly, so don't forget to let me know about your method down below and how you manage. Does anybody do the diagonal in 1/1 full cross, and do they do snaking? Because I think snaking is not as popular as I thought it was. I know that people do a lot of cross country inside the diagonal, but I haven't seen a lot of snaking inside the diagonal. So I'd be interested to see more of that. Yeah, that would be fun. Not that it's going to be too different from what I'm doing now, but anyway, folks. My thread is coming apart. Right, I'm just going to finish this one now. Yeah, that one and that one. It's nice to see this tree growing. Gosh, am I even using the right colour? Yeah, 8, 2, 3. One, two. I was wrong. There is actually more counting. There's more counting than you think there is. At the best of times. Gosh, my hands are getting cold. I think I'm going to have to go and make a hot drink so I can warm my hands up. Okay, stitchy friends. I think I'm going to leave it there for the moment. I hope you all have a wonderful stitchy weekend. Today is Saturday. More stitching tomorrow, more stitching next week. Oh, don't forget to pop into my shop and have a look at the new needle minders that are popping up regularly. There'll be some new ones coming up next week as well. So make sure that you hit the favorites button. I think it's the favorites button that you press and you manage. And when you do that, you get notified about new needle minders. I'm not actually sure. You can have a little browse and see if there's anything you like. And there's a few that I've put up for sale as well. And I think that's everything for today. I don't think I've got much else to say. So aside from that, I wish you all a merry weekend. Enjoy yourself and take care of yourselves. And I'll see you very soon.